Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zeng, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Welcome to this week's episode. If you've never seen a rocket ship launch, Sin City's social media is in midst of witnessing that with Jennifer Gay, aka Vegas Starfish, the go-to for everything Vegas, and I mean literally anything. She is undoubtedly personally responsible for swaying thousands of people to choose Vegas as their vacation destination. Jen has one of the most recognizable voices around, and I would honestly listen to her talk about anything. It wouldn't surprise me if an audiobook company hits her up. The work is outstanding. She's extremely versatile and so thorough with her posts, and in a matter of about 18 months, her first post on the account was free things to do in downtown Las Vegas in April of 2021. Since then, she's been on an unprecedented path of insane TikTok fire with jaw-dropping numbers across the board. Ask anyone, and they'd say she's the hottest influencer on the Vegas scene. With over 916K followers on TikTok, 189K on IG, both of which will be much higher by the time this episode comes out. Throngs of fans worldwide, I am happy to have Jennifer Gay, better known as Vegas Starfish, on the podcast.
I'm just going to have you go everywhere with me and lead with that. That was amazing. That makes me sound way cooler than I am, but thank you. But
it's true. It all happened.
It did happen.
Yeah.
It is happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You've been traveling a bit.
I have. That's been kind of the newest element to all of this is branching out beyond Vegas, not with the interest of leaving Vegas, but so that I can become more versed in what's out there and how Vegas compares and what Vegas offers, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Miami, Chicago, New York City. You just got back from LA.
Yes.
Yeah. What else is on the travel list for you?
It looks like Miami again coming up soon, and then probably Boston and some stuff in the Northeast, and then ultimately back to New York City. Yeah.
So cool. So you were in LA just recently. What were you?
So I am partnered with Lip Smacking Foodie Tours, and we are working. Is it okay to talk about the show? We are working with the Drew Barrymore Show to create content about food and tourist attractions and entertainment available in other large cities. And so Lip Smacking Foodie Tour handles the food aspect of it. They sort of choose the restaurants we go to and the food that we eat, and then I take care of like hotels and resorts and experiences, and then we create content that's being featured on the Drew Barrymore Show, TikTok and IG, and then use it on my own channels as well.
So Drew Barrymore Show, I mean, that's big time stuff. Who would have ever thought a Vegas influencer would be on the show and do content for something that big? How did that happen?
So it was kind of crazy. I actually thought it was a troll email. I got an email from a producer with CBS, and they said, would you be interested in having lunch with Drew Barrymore? And I was like, I don't need to know any other details. I'm in. Let's do it. And it turns out Drew is a huge fan of Vegas. Her favorite restaurant in the entire world is Lotus of Siam. And she had seen my content and wanted to connect over lunch. So we went and had lunch, and I don't think either of us expected it to be as much fun as it was. We really connected. We're very similar people. And so we sat down and we started talking about all things Vegas, and she said, do you want to come to New York? And I was like, yes, I'll go back with you now. Like, let's go. And I didn't really think anything would come of it, but then a few weeks passed, and they were getting ready to put the episode together, and her producer reached out again and said, Drew wants you to fly to New York and be on the stage when they air your segment. And I said, all right, let's do it. So I went out there with Lip Smacking Foodie, and we got ready for the show. And as I was walking out on stage, Drew said, do you want to start doing this in other cities? And I said, yes, absolutely, let's do it. So again, I didn't really expect anything to come of it, but as soon as we finished filming, we went into the green room, and there was a producer waiting, and she said, give us a list of cities that you want to go to, and let's do it. And so we just did LA, and then Miami is next.
Incredible. And that really is a testament to your reach on TikTok. It's not just Vegas. It's not just West Coast. I mean, you're hitting all kinds of people. They just saw your TikTok, loved it, went through everything, and then hit you up, right?
They were looking for Vegas content creators, but I did a video where I kind of dragged Great Wolf Lodge because it's this like horrible kid resort, like Chuck E. Cheese and Motel 6 had a baby, and it's just atrocious.
It was amazing.
And they thought it was really funny, and they liked the fact that it's not all, rainbows and unicorns on my channel. So I try to stay extremely authentic. Sometimes if I don't love a place, I just won't say anything at all. But when it's terrible, I'll definitely let you know.
You had a recent one with Hugo Cellar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which you dragged through the mud, and deservedly so.
Yeah, they used to be amazing. Like 20 years ago, Hugo Cellar was the place, the quintessential Vegas experience. But I went there recently, and everyone was really depressed, and they were like blinking like they needed help, and it was
the raw chicken, raw steak thing was really
terrible.
fucked up.
They cooked this food on a hot rock, and like the meat's all cooked, like cut unevenly, so you got big chunks of raw chicken. When I mentioned it to the waiter, he's like, "We know it's terrible. Don't eat it."
And then the lettuce part.
But I would like to say, Las Vegas Chicas, Yuvia, she ate the raw chicken. She's the real MVP.
Yuvia is an MVP. Oh
She
my
has a
God.
no food left behind policy. So.
What a champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Shout out to Las Vegas Chicas.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about posting non-Vegas stuff on your account? Is it weird?
At first it was weird, but I feel like so my target demographic, or rather the bulk of my following, are incoming tourists and Vegas locals. And those people are not only visiting Vegas, they're visiting places all over the world. And if they identify with my content and the authenticity of it, then they may also benefit from content for Chicago or New York. And while my focus will always primarily be rooted in Vegas, I think stepping out of Vegas and kind of showing them alternatives has some value.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it is, like you said, with people coming in, I mean, they're definitely traveling. And so I think it's so cool. I mean, you're doing a bunch of other cities and going to a lot of cool places. What was your favorite place in Chicago when you went?
So we did two things that are very notable. One is Linea. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yep.
And
I've always wanted to go.
3-star Michelin.
Insane presentation.
Insane presentation, and it was really cool. Like the kind of food that you would. It's art. It's like they're taking fixtures off the wall and open it up, and there's like a sea urchin in it, and then you eat it. It was amazing, but. We also did, because I was up there with Lip Smacking Foodie, and we did the tour of Chicago's best deep dish pizza. And that was the coolest part. Because we got to go into the kitchen at places like Lou Malnati's and Gino's East, Pizzeria Uno, and watch them make the pizza. And there's all this history, and it goes back almost 100 years. And it was just, to me, it was really like kind of grassroots and organic. And I like that more. I love the fine dining. It's fun. But getting in there and like squishing sauce and making pizza was really cool.
I got to do that next time.
Yeah, it's so great. And it's such a cool tour too, because, and that's part of what we're doing with the Drew Barrymore show and everything else is, when you go on vacation and you go check out a city, it's a lot of work to figure out where to go and what to do, and it can be overwhelming. And then you have that kind of fear of missing out. Like, did I skip something that I should have done, or, am I making the right decisions? And one of the things that's cool about the tours that they have in Vegas and Chicago is the guesswork is taken out of it. They've already done the research. You go to the best places. I know now that the pizza restaurants we went to are like the best ones in Chicago, and it was so awesome. Yeah, you have to do it.
So let's talk about Lip Smacking Foodie. You keep mentioning them. For those that don't know, it is the premier food tour company in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And how did you get involved with Donald and Lip Smacking Foodie?
So I was not really interested in doing a foodie tour because tours sound terrible to me. And then I believe it was Heather DeSalle, who is Vegas Know-It-All. She loves the tours. She thinks they're awesome. And she's like, Jen, you have to do this. And I was like, okay. So I went and I did it, and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. It wasn't at all what I expected it to be. We met at Aria, and we went to 4 different restaurants within the resort. And at each restaurant, we had like a chef's tasting menu. And it was just such a cool experience because these were restaurants that I knew about, but I probably wouldn't have like booked a solo dinner at because I didn't know anything about them. And it was a really good way to knock out 4 amazing restaurants in one night. And so I went home and I made a video. And when I get really excited about a business or a concept, I'll make the video like in my car at the event. So I got it up the very next morning. It went like semi-viral, a couple million views. And the company owner, Donald, who now I'm consider myself lucky enough to call a friend. He reached out and said, I would like to meet with you and chat about doing some more work together. And it took us a couple weeks, but we sat down and we chatted. And I said, I'm not really interested in making content for a company. And he said, yes, but I have access to all these amazing restaurants, and you can get in the kitchen and you can film dishes, and it would be really fun. Like, do you want to try it and see how it goes? And we agreed to work together for 90 days, and now we're in like month 7th or 8th, and we're traveling and doing all these awesome things, and it's the best partnership that I've ever had.
Yeah, what a great partnership, what a great friendship.
Yeah, it's so
Donald's
cool
a really
because we're
cool
kind of
guy.
into the same things, and he's very like focused on being the best brand for what he's offering, and I try to be the best brand for what I'm offering, and it's worked out. And so now we're tackling the United States, one
So
restaurant at a
cool.
time.
So cool. So yeah, if you come to Vegas and you only have 2 or 3 days, Lip Smacking Foodie Tour is a great way to jam in a lot of great restaurants in one night and sample a lot of great food.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool. And it's a really good price point too. Tours start at like $125 for the downtown one, and then they go all the way up to $1,000, which is the
Ultimate Steak Tour.
Steakhouse tour, which
I did
is
that.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've done that one now 3 times, and every time I'm like, I can't believe this is real life. Like,
They brought it to 1,000 now.
yeah, it
And
is. He brought it up to 1,000, but he included like the limo now takes you to every stop. Like there's more
Oh.
transportation.
Phenomenal.
Because especially during the colder months, you might not necessarily want to walk between 2 resorts. And I believe there's some more experiences added, but it's now just a flat $9.99, and that includes everything. It's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, and from what I see, it sounds like a lot of people are going.
Yes, it's doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Let's talk about the handle Vegas Starfish. How did you land on that name?
I was trying to figure out what I was. Let me back up. I had a dream that I was going to be TikTok famous. And I woke up in the middle, like, it wasn't like an Ambien haze, but it felt like an Ambien haze.
How long ago was this?
It was January 9th of 2021.
Okay.
And I woke up like in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., and I ordered a ring light and like some stands and stuff on Amazon, and I went back to bed. And then I forgot about it. And a few days later, all this stuff showed up at my house, and I called my sister and I said, I had a dream that I'm going to be TikTok famous, and I bought all this equipment, and I think I'm insane. And she's like, Jen, you don't even let people take pictures of you. Like, there's no way you're going to be on TikTok. And I was like, I know, it's weird, right? So I put everything away. I forgot to return it. And then I made some videos, just personal videos, to see how it felt. And I needed a handle because I knew in a post-COVID world that I did not want to work for a major corporation anymore. I loved my career with Wynn. I was with Wynn for a long time, and before that, MGM Resorts. But my paycheck went away overnight, you know? And I realized that the career I had built was not mine at all if someone could take it away from me. And even though I had a great resume, what was it worth, you know? So I made a couple of videos, and then I saw a video on TikTok that really pissed me off. And it was a woman who said that if you walk into a casino hotel and you put $20 between a driver's license and your credit card,
The sandwich.
you slide it to the front desk and you wink, that they'll give you the presidential suite. And like, that's not how it works. And so I made a video responding, and I was really nice. She did block me, which I'm still salty about.
Man.
But I responded and I said, that's not how it works. You know, there's a matrix, and if they have available upgrades, they'll give them to you because they want the best rooms to be occupied, but they're not going to give you the presidential suite for $20. It just doesn't happen. And I said, furthermore, you don't have to be sneaky about it. Just tip, and they'll, you know, upgrade you. Like, it's a tipped position. They're allowed to accept gratuities. And that video went viral. And it freaked me out, so I deleted the video like any sane person would do. I was like, 8 million people have seen it. This has to go away immediately.
And this was a green screen style, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
I
I
just,
initially,
like-
when I first found you, you were
Yeah, I
doing a lot of
didn't
green
know.
screen.
And I had this idea that like I was never going to leave my house. I was just going to make Vegas videos from home. And it's all changed so much. But so then I realized, like, at that point, my name was like user 9912 14 16 18Q. And I was like, I need a name. So I went with Vegas, and I chose Starfish because starfish are incredibly adaptable and regenerative. You can cut them up into pieces and they'll grow back. And I kind of imagine that that's, as a mom and a creator, that's how I'm going to have to be. I'm going to have to be able to kind of overcome obstacles, because the only way to stay relevant in social media is to continue to adapt and evolve. So Vegas Starfish came from that, I think, April 11th of 2021. And that's when I said, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to try. And for the first 3 months, all I did was green screen stuff from my office at home. And then Amir Hangry invited me to go to Mr. Shada sushi restaurant on Blue Diamond. And I thought I had arrived. I was like, holy shit. I get free sushi? This is the best day ever.
Shout out to Amir Hangry.
Yeah, I have found my career. So I went down there and I ate sushi, and I was like, people get free sushi for making videos? And that was such a cool day, because not only did it open up this whole world of like, wait a minute, like I can get free sushi, and then, but also I met so many cool people, and that was when I started to develop friends, you know, in the field and industry, and it has changed so much since then. But that was pretty good sushi. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, what a difference in just a couple years. I mean, just the whole scene.
Yeah.
Everyone's
crazy.
content.
I remember the first dinner you invited me to. It was Partage.
Yeah, we met at Partage in September 2021.
Yeah, that was like my third or fourth event. It was very early on, because you have a way of sort of embracing new creators. And I think I only had like maybe 50, 60,000 followers at that time. It was pretty low. And not that 50 or 60,000 is low, but
Compared to in the journey,
right.
yeah.
And I remember Heather was my date for the evening, and she told me, you're going to have to eat some stuff that's going to make you uncomfortable. Because up until this point, I pretty much was limited to like chicken, steak, and a baked potato. And I walked in, and like the second dish was like 9 kinds of raw fish with a cauliflower on top. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and I was like, well, have at it.
And Heather's like, you have to do it. Phil is the most important foodie in this city. You cannot embarrass me in front of him. And I was like, shit. So I ate it. I hated it.
I understand. Thanks for being a champ.
But I would love it now. That's the thing, though, is like everything is so different now. Like now I'll eat anything.
Yeah. And that's really a really cool part of the food journey, just a personal food journey, is all the stuff we're exposed to.
Yeah.
And we grow from what we're served and what we eat. You had intrigued me for a while, and I was dying to meet you because of your really cool and unique take on things. Little did I know you were literally just getting warmed up to all this. And the coolest thing was that you went live for the entire dinner. I mean, no one else had ever done that before. And, you know, all the questions you were answering and all that stuff, I thought that was super cool and a really unique way to present the restaurant.
Right. I try to, even though I joked about the free sushi, my interest has always been in connecting with the followers more. Like the business side of it is really interesting to me, but without the followers and their fervent engagement, it doesn't really mean anything. Because when you make a video, it has to do well. It has to do well for the business, and it has to bring value to the followers. So I try to stay connected with them. I try to do live streams and, you know, communicate with them through stories and let them know what's going on in my life and take an interest in theirs. I respond to every single message that I get personally.
Really impressive.
Yeah, I do have help now on IG with just like, I get maybe 1,000 messages a day of stuff that's like, what hotel should I stay at? And I have someone who helps me with that, but she's just giving them information that I would provide, you know, so it's still pretty organic.
Yeah, even when we were in Miami, I mean, any free moment, you were always answering emails, always answering texts, and I was just super impressed with your work ethic, even when we were on break or vacation.
That was a really fun trip. Yeah, no, I probably put in about 16 or 18 hours a day right now, but there's a lot of momentum building, and I'm scared if I don't do that. Matter of fact, I'm leaving for a Disney cruise with my children tomorrow. And the first thing I did is I contacted Disney and I said, I will make some content for you, but you have to give me Wi-Fi. And they were like, done. That sounds amazing. And I was like, wait a minute, could I have gotten money too?
Right.
No, so I will work for Wi-Fi.
Good to know.
My new slogan.
Well, let's talk about the evolution of your content. We mentioned the green screen, and then you were going on location to film stuff, and then maybe a couple months later, you went off to another level and really didn't look back. The opening line of "Let's take a closer look at" was a great way to open the videos. How did you land on that, and how did it stick?
So I think every person who wants to create content has something about them that makes them special or unique. And the hardest part is finding that and then connecting it with the audience. And so I was making content kind of all over the place, breaking news and green screen and pictures, and none of it, it was all doing okay, but nothing was really popping off. And I was talking to Heather, Vegas Know-It-All, one night, who was kind of the first monster influencer. You know, she had 250,000, I think.
Yeah.
And really took me in and introduced me to a lot of people and things. And she said, Jen, your strongest point is the way that you talk. You have a really good vocabulary. You articulate things well. She's like, you should try doing voiceovers instead of green screen stuff. And so I made a couple of variations of a video on Spago. And I sent it to her, and she was like, this is the one. And it was the let's take a closer look at. And I posted it, and it did better than anything. I think I got like 61,000 views, which at the time for me was huge. And I just went with it. That's what I stuck with. So I guess Heather is to blame for, or to attribute.
Amazing. Amazing. Heather's the best.
She really is.
Yeah.
She's great.
We had dinner at Golden Steer this past January when the ship was really taking off, where you went from 200K to 450K in what felt like a blink of an eye. I constantly marvel at the amount of content you put out. People tell me that they don't believe how you do it, and you incorporate the voiceovers not only to your account, but your clients' accounts as well. What was the decision to go in that direction with, say, like Lips Mac and Foodies, to do the voiceovers for the clients?
Because the only way that...
Sorry, I didn't even know Paul was here. Okay.
Hey!
So quiet.
Hey, really cool office, man. I didn't know you were so official.
Thank you.
Like, I thought this was in, like, your mom's basement or something.
It basically is.
This is
I used to
amazing.
live here.
And if shit goes south, you could live here.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I'm right here. I already know I'm
Yeah, no, what was the question? Where
I don't
are we?
remember. How has your perspective changed on social media because of the voiceover, because of the continual evolution of your posts?
I think that social media is in this crazy phase right now where, for the first time in history, anyone who has something they want to say or some creative talent that they can bring to the table, there's an ability to create a show. And then people either will or will not identify with it. Sometimes I'll see creators that I think are amazing, but then I'll look and they're, you know, it's not resonating really, and it's not hitting the broader numbers. And I think that doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. It means you need to kind of hone your skill in a certain direction and find your voice and your I guess, best way of applying your voice to the platform. But social media is crazy. It's the wild, wild west right now. Like, anyone can have a podcast or a channel. And I'm not saying that what we're doing isn't amazing, but I'm saying, like, anyone who's interested in this, it is a lot of work. I laugh anytime a micro or a nano creator says, I can't wait to do what you do. And I say, why? I always ask them, what are you most excited about? And they say, I can't wait to not have to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good luck with that. Let's chat in a year.
That's their goal.
And see how it goes. They're like, oh, you just get to go out and you get to, you know, drink champagne and party every night. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. You don't see me in my closet wearing pajamas and like eating Cheez-Its and editing footage for 14 hours. And, you know, I'm not complaining. It's amazing. It's the best job I've ever had, but it's also the most work I've ever put into anything. And the amount of work you put into something directly pays off in results. And that's with everything, but especially social media. Because you take a few days off and you think, you know, this isn't a big deal, but it is. It's a pipeline. And if you don't feed it perpetually, the returns start to diminish. So, and I'm sure you've seen that with your own channels.
Yeah. And people take the work for granted. And I would actually urge anyone that's interested in social media to rewind and listen to the last 10 minutes again. Because first of all, you consulted other people about your content, which made it better. You know, you looked around and tried different things, and which I think everyone should do. You do the green screen, you do the location, you tried a bunch of different stuff, the breaking news, and to see what sticks.
Right. You have to also think about what resonates with you as a content consumer.
Yeah.
I personally get kind of tired of like just the sounds over the food videos. I want to see what I'm eating or hear about it, and I also like to see firsthand perspective. So I make what resonates with me. But I also know that there's an entire, niche market. Like you've carved out this space where it's like ridiculously expensive dishes, and people really dig that. They're like, I want to eat a $400 fish.
Right.
Like, let's make, so I think that it's about finding what resonates with you and then creating content based around that.
Yeah, and providing value.
Right.
I think that's a big thing that gets missed with a lot of the creators when they just slap music on a video. I mean, no offense, because a lot of them still blow up.
Right.
But is there really value to the viewer?
No, and blowing up isn't as important as people think it is. Everyone gets excited when they see a video with 100 million views or 20 million views, or I've got one right now on the finger licking account that's at like 6.5 million. And I'm excited about it because it's fun. It's fun when you look down, you see that 99 notifications, and then you look at the other account, it's like 4. 4 people have noticed you today. And TikTok sends that condescending email that's like, you're really making a mark. Look at your 17 impressions today.
Right.
It's
Thanks,
fun
Mom.
to blow up. But the thing is it doesn't mean anything. It's better to have 50 videos that are sort of middle of the road that are getting 15 to 20% engagement with your core audience. That's what converts to sales for the businesses, and that's what brings value to the incoming tourists. The viral videos are connecting with like kids in Montana that are like, oh, pizza sucks or whatever. And they're never gonna go to Chicago and take the tour. They're not gonna impact the business. They may not even be the financial decision makers in their household. They just saw a cool video and they're commenting. So those big videos are fun, but they don't bring as much value as just a good, stable, solid video that delivers information, connects with the audience, and converts to sales for the business.
Boom.
But I'd still go viral every day if I could.
Totally. Me too.
Yeah.
How do you manage your time with the amount of work you do? Because not only, you got the kids, you got all the content you're producing, then you go out at night, sometimes multiple places in one night. Can you talk to me a little bit about your time management?
So I get up at 6 in the morning and I instantly do the 3 IGs I manage, which are lip smacking, finger licking, which is a self-guided version of lip smacking. And then my own channel is always the third one I do. Get all the IG content up, respond to all my messages and emails. That takes till about 9:30 in the morning. And then I try to exercise and like make food for the kids and clean my house a little bit. That's a lie. I have someone that helps me with that. But
You can afford it now.
I like open the door so they can help me. And but that's only because I'm bad at time management. I feed the fish and they keep dying. It's bad. It's a bad situation in the Starfish household right now. And then I start with my TikTok making of the day because I have to produce 3 different TikToks every day, and I make them the day of. You would think that I would make them ahead of time, but I just haven't ever been able to get ahead because I'm consuming content at a rate that's faster than I can get it. So get that. I always take a break from 2 to 4 to pick up the kids from school, connect with them about their day, go to the park, go to the farmer's market, like do something appropriately not social media related. Try very hard not to post a story during that time. And then I get them settled. Usually the nanny takes over at that point, and I'll go to either an event or I'll just go out and farm footage, like walk around and see what I can find going on the boulevard or look for something cool. And then I'll come home, do emails, texts, and messages again, and I get in bed about midnight. So
Damn. And do it all over again at 6 a.m.
7 days a week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
With your process of making a post, since you're doing it same day, are you writing it out first? Does it all come off the top of your head? What
I
you
don't do
doing?
any cut or pasting. Everything is written because I personally believe that when you get in the habit of copying and pasting, that if you become blind to the message, so does the viewer. So I try to make sure that everything is authentic and new and fresh. I don't even copy and paste my keywords or my hashtags. Like everything's handwritten. It's
Yeah.
a little more labor intensive, but it's authentic. So
Yeah, I found myself writing everything out now. It just saves time.
It does,
in the long run. Instead, I was just kind of thinking about it, and 3 hours later, I'm still not done.
Right.
So, yeah. With the process, though, when you go to a place, are you already envisioning the post as you're shooting? Do you already have the whole thing worked out when you arrive? How does that all work out?
It's funny you say that. A couple of PR companies that have reached out to do some sponsored work lately, they want me to send them a creative directive of what I'm going to do. And I'm like, how? I don't know. I've never been to your thing before. And like the first one I said that to, they were really offended and they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, no. And I realized that it was coming across in a manner that was unkind. I said, I don't pre-plan. I do my research. I have an idea, but I won't know how I feel about it until I get there. And so I can't tell you what I'm going to say about your experience because it has to be real. And if it's not authentic, if it feels commercialized, it's not going to connect with the audience. And so I always tell them on the front end, like, if it sucks and I hate it, I'll tell you. And I won't say anything negative. You don't have to pay me. Like, it's cool. I've never taken money from a small business to run a promo ad, but from the big corporations, I will. But I always clarify in the comment, like in the, this is sponsored or paid for.
Yeah.
But I'll tell them, I'll say, look, if I get there, I did zero latency recently, and they're not still, like, they paid me for the post, but this is not paid work right here. It was really cool. But if it had sucked, I would have just written back and said, like, look, this was not good, and I'm not going to write about it. I recently had a dinner at a place I will not name, a big player here in town, and I hated it. It was not a positive experience. I wrote the PR firm. I said, I can't do it. And they were like, that's cool. Thanks for being honest. But when I'm enjoying something, I hear the voiceover in my head as I'm doing it. So, like, I kind of come up with it, and then I'll leave and go to my car and record it immediately. So
amazing. Now I'll picture you in your car.
Yeah.
When I see the post now.
And you can always hear it faintly if the air conditioner's on in the background.
Really?
So, yeah. So I have to, like, work on that.
But yeah, going back to, not liking a place. I mean, that unfortunately has happened to me as well, maybe 5 times in the past year where stuff was set up, money, and it just sucked.
Yeah, it's only happened, I think, 3 or 4 times for me. And you're the reason that I do that, because I reached out to you one time and I said, what happens if you accept money for a place and it's not good? And you're like, tell them, give them their money back. And when I realized that if you don't worry about the money, like, don't take a gig because you need the money. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because obviously we're all doing this as our career, so money is a factor. But don't let money guide your impression on something, because the very first time that you lie about something to your followers, they will pick up on it and they will never trust you again.
Yeah. Authenticity is so important. Honesty, transparency.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the money. Just do good content and then the money will come.
While your number one platform is obviously TikTok, you've done a really great job covering them all. You've blown the hell up on IG to 189K followers now. Yeah. What did you have, like 2K last year?
I had 11,000 followers when I sat down with you for dinner on January 27th, I think it was.
Yeah, Golden Steer. Yep.
And I sat down in Lindsay, Las Vegas, the Las Vegas foodie, right?
Yep.
The Las Vegas, it's the one, yes. Lindsay, the amazing Lindsay. We sat down for dinner and I said, guys, what do I do? Like, my IG can't get any followers. And Lindsay was like, I don't want to be mean, because she's the nicest person ever.
She is.
Said, but you're doing IG wrong. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, you're posting like going to get a coffee, be right back. And like, that's not how you use Instagram. And I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, put that in your stories and like streamline your content. And so that day I changed it and it's just blown up ever since. So
Lindsay would love to hear that. I know
I'm
when
so
she
glad
listens
she
to this.
told me, because I was like, I think I'm going to lay down and take a nap and putting it on IG.
Well,
and
you built
like,
up 11K by just doing that, which is incredible. So.
Yeah, but changing it helped a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And even with all that stuff you do on the daily, this could literally be a 2-part episode, because we haven't even talked about your vacation planning business.
No, yeah.
Which is unbelievable. Right. And it seriously must be booming. Let's talk about the concept first with the ebook.
Right. So I realized that I needed something more than just relying on brand deals, because I don't want to make content for businesses unless I can 100% go all in on endorsing the experience. So it would be hard for me to represent like a restaurant or a standalone, because the first time I got negative feedback, I would have issue with that. The only client I work with consistently is Lip Smacking, because I know that he's going to work as hard as I do to ensure perfection. And then I don't want to take a lot of brand deals because it gets kind of like bought and paid for. So I only take money from people that I would really work for free. And sometimes they figure that out and they're like, she'll probably do this for free. And I'm like, yeah, I will. So that's not a great way to drive revenue. So I decided to take all of my experiences in Vegas and the 15 years that I spent working in the gaming and hospitality industry and put it into a guide. The first guide I put out, we're on the third version now, I just released it. The first one was 19 pages. Now it's 68. And it talks about how to get out of paying resort fees effectively. And there's no wizardry here. Like, it's all stuff that if you worked in the gaming industry, you would know. But it saves people time when they're getting ready to plan their trip. Where to have dinner, the shows that you should skip, the really cool, authentic experiences that you might not know about if it's your first or maybe even your 10th visit, how to get rooms upgraded, places to take kids, kind of hacks for adult entertainment. All of that is in this guide, and it's sort of meant to be a pocket guide where you can go through it and say, okay, cool, like, I don't have to spend 10 hours Googling this. $10, bam, all the information you need. But then there were people that said, what if I want a more tailored experience? So I sell a concierge service where you can purchase the guide and my phone number or one of my phone numbers for $50. And then you can text me, and within 24 hours, I will always respond to you, usually right away. And you can say, hey, we're out on the strip and we'd like a waffle and a lobster tail. Where should we go? And I'll look and see who has availability, set them up a reservation, get them in. Or people will say, I can't get an Uber at the airport. Like, can we get a luxury car? Last minute stuff. Or I'm in trouble with my wife. I didn't come home last night. Can we get flowers arranged? And I'll say, these are the florists.
What the fuck? Are you kidding?
And then I get a lot of questions about like stuff that people are uncomfortable posting on social media. They'll say like, how... We know that like adult companionship is a thing. How do we make that happen?
She's still here.
Yeah.
How does she leave?
Yeah. Like, she didn't look like the card at all. I'm like, I told you. Like, I don't make guarantees here, but
Wow. You got a Vegas Confidential thing going on.
yeah, but people want to know about the things like they'll say like, where do we get the marijuana? And I'm like, it's everywhere, bro. Like, just weedmaps.com, make it happen. But especially when you get like husbands and wives from Oklahoma and like they know they want to come out here and like drink absinthe and smoke weed and get hookers, and they don't know how to make that happen, and they certainly don't want their like youth group back at the church to know about it. You can text me. It's completely anonymous. I only know what you tell me about yourself. I have one rule, and that is don't send me a picture of your junk. If you do, I will bill you on Venmo, and then I will critique it. So, and that has only happened twice, and both times they paid the Venmo bill.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's a really good service, and it's easy, and it can be anonymous. And then, like, I've had some people with massive budgets. I had a client text me, and he said, I want to rent out EBC for a private event. And I was like, you know that we're talking like at least $500,000 to make that happen. And he was like, yes. And I was like, this guy's got to be full of shit. And then I connected him with the right people, and he rented out EBC.
Holy shit.
And I still don't know who he is because it's anonymous. And
Yeah.
I have too many clients to like try to figure out who they are. So if you have like a weird question or you need like a weed eater and whipped cream delivered to your room, I can help you, and I'll never judge you.
Unbelievable. Yes. Anyone who wants to have more knowledge about Vegas should seriously download this, from how comps work to effectively getting your room upgraded to maximizing free cocktails and planning basically anything. $10. And I hear your voice when I'm reading it. I feel like people would pay extra for a narrated one.
I might do that someday. I think I have too much
It'd be amazing.
ADHD to sit down and record, but maybe someday.
Yeah, so VegasStarfish.com if you want to download it. Even the locals that live here, for me, there's a lot of great information either I forgot about or never knew about. What's going to happen when you have like 2 million, 3 million followers and people are still doing the concierge service? I mean, how are you going to be able to...
I don't really
Get to
know.
everyone.
I actually just raised my prices because I was trying to maybe slow down demand, and it didn't. I want to keep the price low enough though too, because I want everyone to have access, and I'm not booking flights for people. I don't do anything that involves your credit card, but I help connect you with a direct source for getting it done. I'm pretty efficient at it so far. If it ever gets to the point to where I can't manage it, I'll just make it a limited, like 10 people per month can sign up or whatever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't really figured the next step out because I never thought we'd get here. But now, just based on history, I know what's coming, and there will eventually come a time that I'll have to change the business model. But for now, it's working.
Very cool. Yeah, 68 pages of great information. Go check it out. We're going to wrap up the show with 10 questions.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that'll be quick. Jen, what is your go-to takeout meal for the family at home?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Thai, always Thai. I like Pen Cow a lot because it's right by my house. Nataya is pretty good. They've been slacking lately though. But Lamai, I'm not just saying that because that's your account. That's legitimately like one of the best Thai restaurants in the city. Yeah, Thai.
Okay, you want to make Jen happy? Go get Thai food.
Yes.
Getting recognized by my voice alone is a trip for me. This must happen to you a ridiculous amount. Any fun stories you'd care to share about recent interactions?
So my kids don't really have any concept of what I do. When the Drew Barrymore show sent a limo, my kid was like, oh, that's cool. Like it kind of started to register that mom might be doing cool stuff. But we had this standout moment where I was checking them into Kids Quest at Red Rock because they love Kids Quest because they run an open baby bar. So you can you put your credit card on file and your kid can go get like Cheetos and like lemonade on demand. So for them, it's like paradise. So I'll go like to T-Bones and have a drink and like work while they play for a couple hours. Well, I was checking them in and the lady behind the counter says, I'm sorry, like this is gonna be weird, but do you make TikToks? And my son, who's 9 now, his eyes got so big and he turns around, he's like, Mom, you're famous. And I was like, yes, I do. It was a really cool moment.
That's amazing.
And, but for me personally, I'm used to it in Vegas because I feel like these are my people and they should know who I am because I work very hard to reach all of them. But I'm starting to occasionally run into it in other cities, and that blows my mind. When someone in Chicago is like the DoorDash driver, he came to my hotel. He's like, do you make TikToks? And I was like, this is crazy. Like, why are you on Vegas Talk? And, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I can say we were at a brunch with Wolfgang Puck, and I think more people took a photo with Jen than Wolfgang
that was
in a matter of time
day.
at brunch.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah.
That was a weird day because
it was amazing.
Because laws of averages state that like if the people all around us came to us through TikTok, then that means the rest of the restaurant had to have a large sample size as well. It was a really surreal moment.
Yeah.
And I also had a moment at an anniversary party at a restaurant, Lynetta, where a chef or front of the house manager from a big restaurant who I won't name because I'm not going to put them, I mean, they're amazing, but I work with them and I don't want to put them out there. But he introduced me to someone as the woman who blew our restaurant up. And this is a massive restaurant. And I'm thinking, if my TikToks have had an impact on this, like one of the best restaurants in the country, then what we're doing is profound. And I don't just mean me, I mean all of us. I don't think that we understand necessarily because we just make the video, put it out there, we engage.
Right, see some numbers on the phone. And
right, like, well, that's cool, but
Yeah.
I don't think we realize that because we're so niche specific that the conversion rate is astronomical.
Love that. You're a poker player, a lot of great poker experience. What would you rather be dealt 5 times in a row? Ace, queen suited, or pocket threes?
I'll take the made hand. I'll take the trays every single time.
Okay.
Because in a coin flip, I think I'm like 51-49.
All right.
Something like that. It's close.
Go with the crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Name the one business from Vegas past that you'd love to bring back and do a TikTok on.
From Vegas past?
Yeah.
This is just personal and it has nothing to do with anyone else, but I really regret that I never saw Phantom at Venetian before it closed. I think that was one of the greatest shows that was ever in our city, and I would love to have done content on that. And then as far as businesses, I wish I had been making content when in the era of the themed casinos, when that was really heavy, like in the Aladdin days, and when Luxor had like the campy, like moat.
Right, the moat, yeah.
And Excalibur had like the wizard walking around, and yeah, I wish I had done. I mean, I was a teenager and a kid. So,
Yeah, that would have been amazing. You've had a ton of amazing posts go viral, but what's one you would show someone who didn't know anything about you? If there was one post.
To get an idea of me.
Yeah.
How viral?
I don't know. Would be the Body Snatchers one?
Snatchers is a good one, but I think my personal favorite video is my 4 favorite brunches in Vegas. It only did like 500,000. So it's
only
not,
500,000.
but it's not like a mega viral. Like the Body Snatchers did like 15 million. But
it showed up on Newsweek.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did.
Jesus.
But I really like the brunches, and because I feel like we have some really special dining in our city. Vegas is the most underrated foodie city in the country.
I agree. I averaged 8.5 hours per day on my phone at 59.5 hours total on my main phone with 109 pickups. That's pretty high for me. What are you at?
I don't ever pick up the phone for anyone.
Okay.
So you could be.
Oh, no, just the pickups.
Oh, I was going to say,
yeah.
no, I was going to say, you could be actively dying and we can talk about it through text.
Don't call Jen.
Do not call me. I will not answer. I have one person I work with that occasionally phone chats, and every time a little piece of me dies inside. But I do 14 to 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Damn. Matter of fact, my phone will congratulate me on a day that I only do 13 hours. I'll be like, congrats, you're down
Really?
10%. I'm like, yay.
I need that congrats.
Yeah.
Jeez. My wife, Ayumi, has 69K unread emails, and I need to keep everything at 0. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm right there. Hold on.
Really?
Hold on, that's funny. 143,933 unread emails. 51 unread text messages. So apparently I don't answer those either. And 34 voicemails I haven't listened to. And then, but my client line, my client line only has 9 unread texts.
All right.
I'm on top of that.
There you go. Give me a pet peeve about the influencer scene currently.
Influencers undervalue themselves consistently. You should not be doing work for a taco. And that's not to say that, we should all be out here charging $10,000 for a video. That's unrealistic. But understand what you're bringing to the table. You need to have your numbers in line as well. You need to have a good media kit that shows your reach. And when a PR company reaches out to you, you should always respond, even if you're not interested in the offer, because you are the same. They are professionals working in this capacity. You are as well. It's not personal, it's business. And write back and say, here's what I'm willing to provide you with, and this is what I would like to receive in exchange for my services. And then strike a deal that you're happy with. And if you're happy working for a taco, do it, but don't accept the first offer necessarily, I guess is that my pet peeve, to come full circle, is that know your value.
Yeah.
You're providing a skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone is in Vegas for the first time, wants to build loyalty at one casino brand, playing slots or whatever, which one would you advise them to go with?
If it has to be on strip, MGM, because MGM has the most diverse line of both luxury and core. They don't call them budget properties. They're budget properties. They call them core properties. Budget or core and luxury properties. So no matter what your budget is, you can grow loyalty with the chain. So if you're typically a core property visitor who stays at properties like Excalibur and Luxor, you have the opportunity to earn stays at properties like Aria and Bellagio. So if you come and have 5 or 6 budget experiences, you can save up your points and have a nice luxury experience, whereas Caesars is more, everything's pretty much a budget experience with the exception of Caesar's Palace, and it's a budget experience and nice clothes. Right. But if you can get off strip, Stations and Boyd properties both give more bang for your buck. The general rule of thumb should be, if a casino has to work to get you in the front door, you're going to get more value. So you're going to get less value at a place like, and I love Wynn, but like Wynn, Venetian, Bellagio, they don't need to lure you in. 100,000 people walk in every day because it's Bellagio, Venetian, or Wynn. But if you're going to go to the Orleans or Red Rock or Green Valley Ranch or Palace Station, they're going to roll out a little more of a red carpet for you because they don't have the luxury of that walk-in traffic.
Yeah, yeah. You're a queen of caffeine. What's your most favorite espresso martini currently?
Oh my gosh, I had a really good one. I tasted it at Main Street Provisions, but I didn't want to be like rude and drink the whole thing, so I just tasted it. But it was nice. Favorite one in the city? I had a really good one in Venice Beach last week at Felix. Probably Vanderpump, Paris.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
and that place is crazy expensive, but man, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They have really managed to take a product and say, this is going to cost you a mortgage payment, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool little bar.
Yeah, I've yet to check out the one in Paris. Ayumi's a big fan of the one at Caesars, so we definitely got to go.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
Espresso martinis.
It's a really cool aesthetic.
And then finally, what's the newest thing you're most excited about coming to Vegas?
Oh, man. I think the next... So I don't care about cars. I mean, like, I like cars in terms of, like, what you and I would drive. I don't care about car racing. But I think F1 is going to have a massive impact on the city. It's going to be a huge disaster, too, because they're going to shut down the Strip and everyone's going to hate it. But they're saying it will drive more revenue than a Super Bowl would, which is huge. So I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited about the revitalization of areas like downtown and the Arts District that have kind of previously not been shown the love that they need. I love that we have shows like Particle Inc. popping up, like really cool, like artistic things. I think that Vegas over the next 10 years is like the city to watch. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here. Like it's just a constantly cool, evolving situation, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it keeps getting better. It's really unbelievable when you think about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, what it was to now.
Right.
For sure. I mean, that about wraps up the show. Jen, was there anything you wanted to plug at the end?
The two best things in Vegas are lip smacking foodie tours and the Magician Study, the secret magic show that
Great show.
rotates around. It's a really good show.
Yeah.
The Magician has become a friend of mine, so I continue to plug him. He pays me in champagne. It's awesome. But it really is the best show, too. Like, I've seen it 5 or 6 times now, and the other day I was thinking, you know what? I haven't seen that in a minute. I should go back. So it's a really good show. The perfect night in Vegas is a lip smacking foodie tour, and then the Magician Study, and then drinks at a speakeasy. Like, barbershop's really cool, too.
Right. Or
Yeah.
text Jen about some of the weirder things.
Or text me and I'll tell you where you can get a weed eater and some Cool Whip delivered to your room.
Jeez. Okay.
You can DoorDash anything here.
Jen, thanks for being on the show. Follow all the things Vegas at Vegas Starfish, all the channels. This was a treat.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
being
you so
here.
much for having me.
Yeah. Till next show. See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegasville. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.